Not all NFL stadiums are created equal. The fan experience varies significantly depending on where you go. So today, let's take a look at every NFL stadium's fan experience and rank them from worst to first. Number 30, Washington Commanders, Commanders Field. No shocker here, considering that everything that the Washington football franchise touches just goes sour. But Commanders Field, formerly known as FedEx Field, has one of the worst fan experiences out there. And this isn't even taking the terrible on-the-field product into account either. Though Josh Harris is working to change the tides in DC, the stadium itself is a dump, and the team still treats its fans like second-class citizens. Number 29, Houston Texans, NRG Stadium. While NRG Stadium itself is actually fairly nice, and the team has a good vibe around it right now with CJ Stroud at the helm, the fan experience still leaves a lot to be desired. Part of the issue is the location of the venue. It is challenging to get to with mass transit, and the Houston roads don't do drivers many favors. Tough to really get into the tailgating mood when you're worried about how you're gonna get home the whole time. Number 28, Tennessee Titans, Nissan Stadium. The one bright side of the fan experience at Nissan Stadium is that it's actually within walking distance of Broadway Street, which makes it accessible for tourists but doesn't do the team's fans themselves any favors in terms of ease of access. Surprising as it may be, the Titans also aren't particularly renowned for their tailgating scene, which always serves as a detraction. Number 27, Jacksonville Jaguars, Everbank Field. The two pools on the north end zone at Everbank Field were part of a $63 million 2014 upgrade, and unfortunately, that's really the only notable aspect of this stadium from a fan experience perspective. The vibe is aided ever so slightly by its proximity to downtown Jacksonville, but that's really where the buck stops. Number 26, Miami Dolphins, Hard Rock Stadium. Hard Rock Stadium has had many names over the years, and though it's hosted many big games over the years in terms of Super Bowls and college national championships, well, it still isn't really the game day dream that sometimes it gets the reputation for being. The stadium is located in the middle of Fort Lauderdale and Miami, putting it in kind of a no man's land. There really isn't much around the venue to do if you're trying to make a day out of it. Number 25, New York Jets and Giants, MetLife Stadium. MetLife is kind of like the Northeast version of Hard Rock. Due to real estate costs and restrictions, it was built out in Jersey off the turnpike, making it a huge pain for native New Yorkers and visiting fans alike to get to. The stadium is ridiculously expensive, and the vibes, especially with how their home teams have been playing in recent years, is nothing to write home about. Number 24, Carolina Panthers, Bank of America Stadium. Charlotte has gained a reputation in recent years for being one of the most exciting young cities. Unfortunately, Bank of America Stadium can't take much credit, as it is an extremely mediocre place to watch a game. It needs more than a facelift. It needs serious renovations before it climbs this list, even with solid food options in and around the stadium. Number 23, New England Patriots, Gillette Stadium. It may have gotten much more subdued in recent years, but the Patriots are known for having one of the better tailgating scenes in the NFL, and it does have the amenities that many fans have come to expect from a modern game day. The stadium, unfortunately, is kinda in the middle of nowhere, as it's located in Foxborough, not Boston proper, making it a bit of a pain to get to. Number 22, Arizona Cardinals, State Farm Stadium. The Glendale neighborhood around the stadium is growing along with the stadium, so there's a ton of development and new attractions being built up all around it, which should make for a fun visiting experience. And you know, State Farm gets fairly rowdy, and the game day experience is pretty dang affordable. Number 21, Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Browns Stadium. Cleveland Browns Stadium, home of the Dog Pound, has some of the most diehard fans in the league and solid concessions, which are generally table stakes for an enjoyable game day experience. That said, it is surprisingly expensive to watch a game there considering the region of the country it's in and the relatively modest amenities. Number 20, Philadelphia Eagles, Lincoln Financial Field. The Link is getting up there in age, but it's still one of the better fan experiences in the league. And how could it not be with the electricity that the Eagles fans bring? Oh wait, I know how. If you're a fan of another NFC East team, or the 49ers. Note to visiting fans, leave your team uniform at home and just soak up the energy and you'll enjoy an excursion to Lincoln Financial Field. And, well, if you do choose to rep the visiting team, just proceed with caution. Number 19, Chicago Bears, Soldier Field. Any attraction that Soldier Field has on this list is only because of its nostalgia and the history behind it. The stadium itself is kind of a dump, and the fans are always at risk of bearing the brunt of bear weather, the vernacular that Chicagoans use to affectionately refer to the climate. Cool experience, but definitely some drawbacks. Number 18. Detroit Lions Ford Field. After seeing how loud that Ford Field could get once the Lions finally made themselves relevant again, it's hard to argue that it isn't a fun place to watch a game. The location is a bit of a drag, and the venue could use some upgrades. But with that team playing good football, it seems like an awesome place to just watch football. Number 17. Minnesota Vikings US Bank Stadium. The Vikings opened up a beautiful facility in US Bank Stadium back in 2016. It seats just under 67,000 fans and does a great job of shielding fans from the harsh Minnesota winter. There's also a great view of downtown Minneapolis from the stadium. Very nice venue to catch a game at, all things considered. Number 16. Cincinnati Bengals Paycor Stadium. While it may come as a surprise based on the reputation that its ownership group has, the Bengals actually ranked top 5 for season ticket member satisfaction and game entertainment, at least according to a recent NFL-wide fan survey. The venue has great concessions, including a destination bar that fans seem to love. There's also a fantastic bar and restaurant scene that surrounds the stadium, in addition to the lively tailgate that really just adds to the experience. Number 15. Denver Broncos Empower Field at Mile High. As long as you aren't overly prone to altitude sickness, Empower Field at Mile High is among the tops in terms of fan experience. It offers a variety of food and beverages at relatively affordable rates, at least to modern stadium standards. The stadium also has a unique layout, which really adds to the experience. It has its own built-in tailgating section with Sports Legend Mall on the south end of the complex. It features vendors, a stage for musical performances, and the Ring of Fame for fans of team history. Though the altitude can be a drawback, it does have its positives. I mean, after all, how many stadiums give you a beautiful view of the Rocky Mountains in the background? Number 14. Tampa Bay Buccaneers Raymond James Stadium. With the beautiful winter weather of Southwest Florida, it's hard not to appreciate Raymond James Stadium. It has one of the better tailgating scenes in the league, plus the massive pirate ship, which, that's pretty darn cool, for both kids and adults alike. Easily one of the better places in the league for fans to go and watch a game. Number 13. Baltimore Ravens M&T Bank Stadium. M&T Bank Stadium is nestled comfortably into Baltimore proper, and it gets bonus points for being part of the Stadium Park model, which always adds to the game day experience from where I sit. The stadium itself has all that you need to enjoy yourself on game day from an amenity perspective, and it is a top place for fans to go to. Number 12. San Francisco 49ers Levi's Stadium. The 49ers opened Levi's Stadium in 2014, and in time since, it has developed a reputation for being one of the better places for fans to watch a game. The franchise is rich with history that is proudly displayed throughout the stadium for fans with an appreciation for the history of the game. 49ers fans are also among the most enthusiastic that the league has to offer. Number 11. Indianapolis Colts Lucas Oil Stadium. There is a reason that Lucas Oil Stadium always gets its name called to host national events. It has that true downtown feel with restaurants, bars, and hotels fixed all around it. The venue also has a legitimate nightlife scene in walking distance. Last measured, there are around 60 permanent and almost 100 portable concession stands in Lucas Oil, with a ton of variety for food and beverage, most all of which are pretty darn high quality. Factor in the tailgate and the electric game day environment, and it is hard not to love this stadium. Number 10. New Orleans Saints Caesars Superdome. I mean, being in walking distance from Bourbon Street gets the Caesars Superdome off to a heck of a start in terms of the fan experience. Obviously, there are some minor drawbacks there in terms of it being family-friendly, but hey, with the right planning, folks shouldn't have any issue getting their kids in to watch a Saints game on Sundays. And for those of us who aren't worried about how PG-13 it gets, well, the Superdome is the place for you. The pre-game party scene is electric, and the energy inside the stadium can match it for the right game. The Superdome is slightly in need of a facelift, as it has gotten a little outdated in recent years, but hey, nothing crazy. Definitely a top-tier fan experience. Number 9. Pittsburgh Steelers Acrisure Stadium. Though it definitely gets docked a couple of points for abandoning its former name Heinz Field, which was beloved by fans and media members alike, Acrisure Stadium is still a great place in terms of fan experience. For starters, there is a ton of football history in that city with the franchise, and it just sort of resonates through the fan base, which you can clearly see when the fans are going nuts with their terrible towels. There's probably some work that could be done getting it up to modern standards. I mean, it isn't exactly renowned for its food and beverage selection, but still, the venue gets bonus points for its location, as it is nestled up against the Ohio River, making it both super accessible and aesthetic. Fantastic venue for fans all in all. Number 8. Seattle Seahawks Lumen Field. Lumen Field is known for having one of the best home field advantages, but that's in part because those fans are prepared to make the best of it with the Pacific Northwestern weather. Either way, definitely a highly recommended venue to watch a game at, even if you aren't a fan of the Seahawks. The stadium itself is state-of-the-art in many ways, just a smidge behind the truly groundbreaking new construction a la SoFi and Allegiant. Number 7. Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium. There is no shortage of activities for one to get up to when they venture out to Sin City, but a trip to Allegiant Stadium is quickly climbing the short list of the things to do. They have all the luxury amenities that you would expect out of a Las Vegas project, and just enough rowdiness held over from the Oakland Raiders days to keep the football energy in the building high. Definitely a top-notch fan experience for home and away fans alike. Number 6. Los Angeles Rams and Chargers, SoFi Stadium. SoFi Stadium is the state-of-the-art stadium. It doesn't get any better than this. The facilities are ridiculous. The game day is a little different depending on which home team you're there to watch, but as far as a place to settle in and comfortably watch football, it's hard to do better than SoFi Stadium. Just be prepared to spend a pretty penny to do so. Number 5. Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field. Lambeau Field is one of the most historical stadiums in sports, let alone the NFL. Obviously, there are some drawbacks in terms of it being plopped down in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and of course those brutal Midwestern winters. But as far as being a part of a living, breathing NFL history and rubbing shoulders with some of the most dedicated fans out there, it is tough to do better than Lambeau. Number 4. Atlanta Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Mercedes-Benz Stadium gets a little lost in the shuffle with the Raiders opening Allegiant and the Rams building SoFi Stadium, but this venue that the Falcons opened back in 2017 is one of the nicest out there. This team is also renowned for its fan-friendly concession prices, which gives them a major boost as far as we're concerned. Number 3. Buffalo Bills, Highmark Stadium. The Bills Mafia experience isn't for everybody, but it deserves all the clout that it gets. The Buffalo diehards make Western New York look cool, even in the frigid winter conditions. Experiencing the Bills fandom up close and personal, and seeing how much those fans love the team and the sport, it is truly a transcendent experience. The ownership has also done a great job developing the game day experience for fans, and there are a surprising number of attractions near the facility for visiting fans. Number 2. Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium. While you have to be prepared to brave the cold, there may be no more an exciting place to watch NFL football nowadays than Arrowhead Stadium. Not only will you get to experience one of the most fiery crowds that the league has to offer, but you'll also likely get to watch Patrick Mahomes play quarterback, which is a treat in and of itself. The top shelf on the field product aside, Arrowhead has plenty of amenities to help keep fans fed and comfortable through the harsh Kansas City winter and provide a great experience. Number 1. Dallas Cowboys, AT&T Stadium. As little fun as it is to give Jerry Jones credit for anything, he really did outdo himself with AT&T Stadium, or as it's colloquially known as, Jerry's World. The stadium is pristine, and plus it's Dallas, so you know that they've managed to get plenty of good food and drink options baked into the stadium experience. Top-notch amenities left, right, and center, and it is simply an electric place to catch a game. But hey, what NFL stadium do you think has the best fan experience? Which one do you think has the worst? Was there anything that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.